Hello again and welcome. This is Modern American Gangster, and this is a news and current events update. Now, the day I'm recording this, it is Sunday, June 22nd, and we have just completed bombing Iran. Trump administration is bombing the Iranian nuclear facilities that we've all been told since, Israel got all their nuclear weapons, and if Iran gets a nuclear weapons, they're going to use them, and blah, blah, blah. This is all a fake deception, people. Everything is a fake deception in order for these people to achieve their new world order. Now, the Trump people have made this declaration that there'll be no more new wars, and we're tired of wars, and it's the peace president. And then you bomb a foreign country without authorization from Congress. Now, Trump bombs Iran, and Iran says that its nuclear facilities were not affected. They're still operational. They also say that they were abandoned or they were evacuated days ago. So you're refining this uranium. You have 15 days they're going to have a nuclear weapon, and all the facilities were emptied out because of threats of bombing. So who's enriching the uranium if there's nobody there and the facility has been abandoned due to bombings? I mean, all this stuff, if you take any one of the facts that these people give you and analyze it, it's completely ridiculous and bullshit. So, as their three nuclear sites were bombed by stealth bombers and the operation took place and all this stuff, other nuclear weapon having countries have said they are going to give Iran nuclear weapons for them to protect themselves. Because Israel has 150 nuclear weapons and they can do whatever they want because they are entitled, because they are God's chosen people. And when God selects you personally, the first thing that he's going to do is make sure you have nuclear weapons so you can cause a nuclear holocaust and exterminate as many people as you can who are not Jews. Now, the other secret is that when they start really moving towards their new world order, which, we've seen this play out, whether it's the AI becomes self-aware and launches the nuclear weapons, the plot of the Terminator movie, basically, or the Matrix, or whatever, is the AI will make it seem like anything is happening that it wants to happen. And the general NPC people will believe whatever they're told, just like they're believing all the shit on the TV right now. Now, the QAnon people are almost just as fucking deranged as the Jews. I mean, they are fucking relentless, these QAnon people. Every single thing that happens, they will twist it and manipulate it to be part of the plan. This is Trump identifying the British Empire and the controls set after the Second World War and all this stuff. It's grasping at straws, and even if you believe there's a plan, it's not nobody has the same ideas of what the plan is. So they trust the plan without knowing what the fuck it is, without even thinking that what if Trump is a part of this Jewish New World Order? What if all these people is a part of the Jewish New World Order? The satanic takeover of our realm. Now, supposedly, the Congress did not approve these airstrikes, and this is going to be the next card play. They're going to Trump and impeach him because he's, taken over the world with the military and all this. Yeah. And then the QAnon people will say, well, it's a foreign bankrupt corporation and they have no authority because they are a corporation and all this stuff. It just goes over and over and over again until, I mean, if you're not willing to accept the fact that we're getting tricked here, and the QAnon people will be the first people to tell you to do your own research, and you need to be researching the bankrupt corporation. It's like, dude, I've fucking done 10 times more research than you. People don't know what the fuck is going on at all. They all still believe in the nuclear weapons or the historical timeline or the moon landing or, we won World War II, and they have no knowledge or ideas of this old world, this mud flood, how our history was fabricated, all these events that play out. Now, they're now concerned about sleeper cells. If you watch the bot accounts, these are the accounts that have 10,000 followers and they all just repeat the same slogan. I'm worried about the Iranian sleeper cells. How many sleeper cells are there? Now the sleeper cells are going to be active. There's going to be terror attacks and sleeper cells. And meanwhile, what happened with all these riots in LA? What happened with all these ICE immigration riots and all that stuff? It's just like one psyop goes away and another psyop is brought to the front. You think of all this Trump bullshit. They're gonna audit Fort Knox. What happened with that? Never happened. Okay, then they're gonna send you Doge checks because they're saving so much money and the people need stimulus and stuff. Nothing happened with that. Then you look into all of this other shit. It's just the number one focus that these people, it's mainly boomer people, but it's the blue collar workers have gotten a raise. The first big raise they've had in 20 years. They're making more money. You're making more money, but the amount of extra money you're making is, how much is it? $100 a month? So you could take your family to McDonald's one extra time? Ow. Thank you very much, President Trump. I was only being able to eat at McDonald's 3 times a month. Now I can go another trip to McDonald's and get the extra double cheeseburger, quarter pounder value meal and all this shit. It's just like, fucking wake up, people. We are slaves in this new world order, and you cannot get out of it pretending like these people in government who have caused all these fucking problems have your best interest in mind. Okay? They'll tell you that America is a bankrupt corporation, but then they will tell you that Trump's going to defeat this. But, like, we're still slaves to this new world order. You're still a your birth certificate is a high yield bond traded on the market because you're a slave and all this shit. And it just, you can't convince these people because it's high IQ concept. The concepts of all this stuff is high IQ. And low IQ people cannot even begin to bring these complex ideas into the plan and expand their consciousness and awareness. Okay, so before this Iran attack, Elon says Trump is on the Epstein list, and that's why the Epstein file hasn't come out. And everybody goes, oh, no, no, Trump's not on there. Well, now he's completely doing the bidding of Israel, leading us to believe that he's on the Epstein list. Okay? There's no reason for us to be striking Iran. If this was all a show, Israel, I mean, it just, why the fuck are we getting involved? And now Iran is going to retaliate, which means they're not going to retaliate against Israel. They're going to have bombings and terror attacks within the United States. And Israel, is trying to protect America because Iran shouts death to America. Why do you think they shout death to America? Is it because of our rock and roll music and our Coca-Cola and our blue jeans? No, it's because we are occupied by Israel through APAC, through blackmail and sex trafficking. You think other countries and their military intelligence are this fucking stupid that they don't understand that every single U.S. politician is getting paid $2 million a year, like fucking Ted Cruz, for Israel? The Bible says you've got to bless Israel, so we've got to support Israel in everything they do. Do you think the Bible, when they're talking about Israel, is talking about the Rothschild-controlled Zionist state of Israel that was created after World War II? No, that's not the Israel they're talking about. And the more you actually research this stuff and look into it, you'll find that Israel was a part of Tartaria. Most likely, the Israel in the Bible was America. And there's so much coming out about the Grand Canyon is connected to was Egypt, and the Colorado River was the Nile River, and all this stuff. It's America. And this is why there's no evidence of that. Well, because it's all under a mud flood. Which we can prove this, but the concepts are so outside of the perception of the average people that they're not going to accept it. They're not going to accept it. They have no idea what you're talking about when you talk about this mud flood and these buildings and the old world and all this stuff, mud fossils, and you can just, I have thousands of pictures proving my point or our point as researchers as to what's going on and what happened. But they do not look at it because geologists will say X, Y, and Z, and you'll say, well, tell me what the geologists say. Well, they don't really know. They just know that this was said. The same with globe Earth. Okay? No person who believes in the globe can tell you anything about the globe. They don't know the circumference of Earth. They don't know how big everything is. They don't know about any of this stuff. But they will disagree with you. And then when you go to explain this to them, if they have a higher, higher IQ, they will at least listen to your ideas and then you'll make some sense. But the low IQ people will just, they get angry, they want to attack you because you're a science denier. These are all the people who told you to take the vaccine and they told you to comply and do all of this stuff that they were told by TV. The TV is the programmer that programs the NPC mind. And now we've been telling you that war is bad, war is bad, war is bad. The Iraq war was a big mistake. They told you it was weapons of mass destruction and Saddam Hussein. And then you find out 9/11 was caused by the Mossad and the CIA. And as we move into this war with Iran, where are the Epstein files? Where's the 9/11 files? Where are the Fauci files? Where's the Podesta files? Where's the Clinton emails? Where's all this stuff that proves we shouldn't be going to war for Israel? We should be going to war with Israel, and we should wipe that fucking country off of the map. Nuclear weapons, bomb this fucking place out and get rid of it because it is an evil, evil area of satanic ritual abuse and Satanism. And these Jewish people are the most evil fucking people ever. And if you don't believe me, look at some of the, top secret footage of inside their synagogues and as they're doing their rituals and stuff. It is fucking satanic cult worship and evil, evil shit going on there. Putting all their sin into a chicken and torturing this chicken. I mean, it's like animal sacrifice, human sacrifice, blood worship. They're putting blood on themselves and all this shit. I mean, it is like, how fucking evil. And you pretend like these are these holy people and we gotta serve them. It's fucking ridiculous. It's ridiculous, and all the people who are awake and aware say the same thing. And all of the MAGA Trump bots all will just be for whatever ideas they're told. Trump says we have to get rid of Iran because they have nuclear weapons, and then Israel has nuclear weapons. They did 9/11. They killed JFK. They do all these fucking terror attacks. They bomb the USS Luke, but they're still our ally. We can't get out of the shadow of these evil fucking people, no matter what we do. And the general public NPC people, you'll post, I've been posting lots of memes on Instagram and Twitter, and nobody will see your memes. They are very selectively making sure that the general consensus is that Trump had to do this to protect our allies and all this stuff. And anything to the contrary of the general consensus is not allowed to be presented. And it's a very big problem when you understand that all of our politicians have been blackmailed and all of our politicians are saying we need war. And they all make money off this. They all make money off of APAC, which is our tax dollars. We fund Israel. They use this funding by our politicians and control our government. And the funding to Israel is not going to stop because they're already saying there's been over $500 million in damage to Israel. Now, where are they going to get that money to rebuild? Well, that's coming from us. Now, as we give them $500 million to rebuild Israel after Iran's war that Israel started, they're going to use that money to rebuild Gaza, and their greater Israel is achieved more and more and more. How do people not see this? It is fucking ridiculous. Now, if the nuclear bombs are a scam and they're bombing all these nuclear sites because they're enriching uranium, what's really going on? Now, you hear more about the Iraq war wasn't really about Saddam Hussein's weapons of mass destruction, and then you get into the sub conspiracies of everything. Saddam Hussein wanted a gold-backed currency. Saddam Hussein wanted to get rid of the central banks. The same with Iran. They do not have a Federal Reserve central banking system. Then you get deeper into the conspiracies, and Saddam Hussein was in control of old world tech, stargates, and all this old world high technology, and that's why we had to go in. And Gaddafi had access to these stargates and all this stuff, and we had to go in to get rid of the stargates and all this stuff. I mean, the level of conspiracies just goes all the way, and there is evidence to support this, but how the fuck would you ever know what was going on? Because there's so much information you need to acquire in order to see the world in a different way and understand these things. The general NPC public with an average IQ of 75 is never going to figure this shit out. They can never comprehend the higher ideas and the higher concepts of how many things you need to understand in order to see through the filter of this reality. You have to understand everything to understand anything. Now, they're gonna, the war is brewing and they're gonna have more nuclear weapons. This is just the beginning of this massive war. Because if the opposition to this corporate United States Israel backed bullshit, if you don't stop this right now and end this reign of these satanic elites, it's never going to happen. We're at a tipping point in human civilization where if we don't get into this massive third world war, which in all these world wars, everyone's a part of the scam. The allies, the Axis powers, every single person. There is a Jewish aspect to it. There is a Masonic aspect to it. There is some other secret society aspect to it. And you look at the players in the game right now, they're either blackmailed from having sex with children, blackmailed with gay stuff and transgender stuff. They're Jewish, they're Freemasons. You look at Europe with the Keir Starmer and the French guy with the tranny wife. They're all blackmailed. And then you look at Argentina, ran by that Jewish guy. Mexico, ran by the Jewish lady. Ukraine, ran by a Jewish guy. You've got Benjamin Netanyahu, Jew. You've got Trump wearing a Jew hat, and they're all Jewish and Freemasons and all this shit. It's just people think they're going to vote their way out of this. And you're not understanding how all these people are together. They're all together and they're going to get you into war where then the people go to war and are depopulated and killed. This is the major satanic plan of artificial intelligence. It's the only people who will stop artificial intelligence and Satan are the followers of Jesus Christ. It's not Muslims, it's not Buddhists, it's not Hindus, it's not anyone. It's the followers of Jesus Christ, which are the oppositional force to this satanic artificial intelligence and all this other stuff. But they don't see it. They don't understand that when this big attack happens, which what are they gonna nuke a big city? There's already, they've said there is 25 satanic sites that have to be destroyed by whatever. Whether it's directed energy weapons, nuclear bombs, whatever. Okay, it was like I have the sites somewhere, I'll have to find it. But like the Georgia Guidestones and the Three Gorges Dam in China and the Hoover Dam and all this stuff. Are they going to fabricate some kind of fake nuclear war where they can blow up all these world cities and sites? Because in order for this next great reset in 2045, there is a lot of old world buildings stuff they have to get rid of in order to reset the timeline again, just like they reset the timeline in 1850. And you have to think, well, Trump's playing on it. Trump was selected by the military and the Q team. You're not understanding what these controller people can offer you to make you do whatever. Now you have to think of Napoleon Bonaparte, and George Washington, and Adolf Hitler, and Mussolini, and Trump, and all these historical figures. What could they have been offered in order to get them to completely turn their back on all civilization, God, Jesus Christ, God's plan for humanity? And a lot of people would think, well, they're just selling out for money, billions of dollars. Well, if you're already a billionaire, what else could you be offered? Now you start thinking of some of the ideas and concepts of what's going on in these underground bunkers and bases. Now, if they came to you and said, we can give you 500 years, we can create you an underground city and you can run this like a king, like you're running the Aztec Empire or something. Anything you can think of or desire can be given to you. Do you think people would sell out for that? Can bring back any person who has died and get you and contact them through human cloning and technology. We can, I mean, you really sit and start to think about it's very insane. And they say, well, don't these people have any integrity? Well, dude, integrity can only get you so far. I mean, I've been trying to wake up these people for free. I haven't gotten any money or anything for this. Looking up and researching this shit for 20 years, and these people fucking hate your guts for telling you shit that goes against the narrative of their reality. Now, why are we trying to wake up these NPC people? They don't care, and they seem to really enjoy being slaves to this new world order. Cogs in this matrix, which is fully developed to exterminate all of them. They can't see it, they don't want to see it, and they don't care. So I think, well, fuck, man. Honestly, if they offered get you access to these underground cities as long as you start talking. Would you do it? I might. What's holding us here? These people fucking hate you for even just believing in flat Earth, believing in concepts that they have been programmed against. They hate you. They openly are angry and will go out of their way to try to fuck you over. Telling and revealing the Masonic secrets, the entire town of Masons will blacklist you and fuck you over, where no one's allowed to do business with you. They will blackball your posts. Nobody sees any of your posts. If you're trying to advertise, if you're trying to do anything, they openly work against you. And the people see no problem with that because you're anti-Semitic. You're a hate speech advocate. When it's like you have no idea what real free speech is. It's being able to say the uncomfortable things that maybe you don't want to hear and your boomer associates don't want to hear. But the average people who are lost in this world, the younger generations, need to hear this because it's unacceptable that you just demand these people who work from the age of 18 to 75, and you can't even buy a house. You can't buy anything because it's so fucking expensive. And you're demanding this younger generation below you do all of the stuff that you did because that's just the way it is. It's unacceptable. I saw this as a big scam when you have two people living in a house paying rent and you can't afford to do anything. And yet you're going to go buy a house and the payments are just so insane. It's impossible to ever get ahead in this world. But Trump's going to make it where you have a little bit more money. You can go out to McDonald's one more time a week, and the American workers are getting taken care of more than ever. The tariffs are going to start working. Well, if this Iraq war gets started and they've shut down the Strait of Hormuz or whatever, the oil prices are going to go as high as they went during the Iraq war and higher due to the inflation. So you will see $8 to $10 a gallon gasoline. Now, were all these tariffs put in to get more businesses in America because they know this giant third world war is coming? This third world war is coming. They have to have it. And there's not really any evidence that Trump is doing anything other than being a pawn in this game. And they're just continuing with their New World Order plan. Now, is this lizard people pulling the strings? Is it just Jews and they're just sneaky Jews? I don't think so. It has to be something way above the perception of the people, and that's what's pulling the strings. And they know in order to keep control, they have to continue with these wars and these depopulations because now everyone's talking about Iran, everyone's talking about Trump doing these bombings, and no one's talking about Epstein Island. No one's talking about where the fuck is our gold at? Where is this debt and currency reset? Where is this Nassar? Where are all these arrests? Where is all this action? You haven't arrested one fucking person from this Epstein thing. You haven't. Well, the QAnon people will tell you, well, they were arrested and hung in a military tribunal, and it's actors wearing masks. How long are these fucking actors going to be wearing masks for? When is the end date? When is the goal? When can we be free from this civilization of slavery and death and control? And they'll still say, we're going towards this Jetsons society. And Trump did say they're going to have vertical takeoff and landing cars, and there's going to be 10 new U.S. cities and all this stuff, which the new cities are accessed underground. They're underground cities, but you have to have the disclosure of all this other stuff. They tell you they've spent $2.3 trillion building underground infrastructure in this end time, whatever. But there's never any pictures, there's never any access. When will this go to the next level? Or is this all just a fake plan and it's never going to the next level? You know, if they could leave in spaceships they fucking would, but they can't because this space is fake and gay, so they have to build super underground cities that they can escape to. Now, it just, it's very discouraging trying to awaken the people, trying to get funding and the ability to do these videos and more content. Because it just seems like they're regular people, these concepts and ideas are so far out of the grasp of their consciousness. But that's where we're at. We have to just, what the fuck can we do? But we are getting to the point where it seems like civil war, anarchy. I mean, if there's one active shooter somewhere, the police can zero in and eliminate them. If there's 10 active shooters in all different parts, there's absolutely nothing they can do. It's the people's job to take care of it. Now, if you start having 10 active shooters and 3 bulldozers in your town, the game's over, man. People are right on the cusp. You're 1 or 2 meals away from just losing your fucking insanity and just going on a rampage. And you can see this in people when they're still wearing masks and they've got the super crazy COVID eyes and they're just on the fucking edge. They're gonna scratch a Tesla and be in a car because they're mad. And it's the boomer liberal people who are gonna be the ones who really fucking lose it. You know, these women think they can fight men and all this stuff. It's so delusional. That's the false reality we live in, where they think they have more power than you know, the white race that's sitting back waiting for this. We all see this. We all know how wars are fought and how wars are won. And if you're smart and you've been paying attention, you know how to see through this shit. If you understand at the top, it has to be a Masonic affiliated person. That way they can ensure that both sides at the top never are harmed. And the lower people all get exterminated and killed. And then when they meet for their peace talks, they do their secret Masonic handshakes, and it's all part of the greater plan. We have to see through this stuff, people. You have to understand that the people leading you are the people leading you to your death. They're leading you right over the cliff. And does anybody seem to care? No, it's so much division and people fighting that they'll never ever see it. They're too busy grasping and trying to figure out what's going on while also working 2 jobs and having to do your laundry, do your shopping, do your cleaning, watch your favorite show. There's so many distractions. Your people can focus on one thing, whether that's Iran or Epstein or where's the gold, where's the resets, what's going on with this Doge money, where's our refunds. If it was a bioweapon, where's our reparations from COVID? Nope, they're going to have a new thing. No one's talking about how the doctors and all these people murdered your family members, killed all these people for money. And if you ask any questions, you're anti-Semitic because the doctors are all Jewish. The medical pharmaceutical companies are all Jewish. And the people who pushed COVID and the vaccines, well, the news companies, they're all Jewish. And it's all Jewish. And it's Jewish. You don't want to be anti-Semitic, so just let these people rape you and murder you and kill you. I don't understand why there is such a void behind these people. Is it just the fluoride? Is it just the red food coloring? Or is there something else where it's an undeniable fact that these NPCs are real and there is no programming them or dissuading them into any kind of concepts or ideas that go against the programming. And this is why it is so important to find the real people, the real consciousness people, and get them to understand that we have to get together. identify each other, share these ideas and concepts to somehow send our vibration out to affect the greater whole. This is why so many of us are separated and apart from each other. There's no 10 people who understand all of these concepts and ideas living in the same area. There's somebody living here, there's someone in Texas, there's someone in Utah, there's someone in Florida, and we are like equally spread out for a reason. It's very obvious that there is a plan of God behind all of this, pulling the strings of certain people and moving these ideas outward. Okay. I don't know how, but we're in for some big event. They're going to do another 9/11, obviously. They're going to do terror attacks. And if you remember, 9/11 was on every TV channel and every TV station in the world stopped for a reason, so you can observe the ritual, Holodomor, sacrifice, Holocaust, offering to these satanic gods to get their new world order. They're going to do that times 10. Now that pretty much means there's going to be some kind of nuclear thing going on. Now, whether you believe the nuclear weapons are real or fake, they can fake all this shit with the directed energy weapons or the rods of God weapons or whatever it is. Like nuclear bombs are stupid. It's stupid. It's outdated. It's a boomer thing. They got all these boomers to believe that. The same with the moon landing and all this other shit. It's a deception to push you into their will and to give them the power because you'll say, geez, if these people are dropping nuclear bombs on us, we've got to go stop them because it's just Israel has a right to defend itself and we've got to defend our number one authority. And every single person who will repeat those sentiments is either paid or blackmailed or they're Jewish. Mark Levine and Ben Shapiro. I think Donald Trump did what he had to do to stop Israel. I mean, Iran has the capabilities of nuclear weapons. They're developing nuclear weapons. They're going to use them against Israel. We got to defend our ally. And we'll show the people we're going to run. It's just like, fuck, dude. We all hate you. You're fucking horrible trash. You're horrible trash people. You're evil demon goblin people. And they laugh at women and children getting blown up. And then the second someone, bombs them. They're crying and they need help. And Donald Trump, are you going to help us? We're in Israel. We need help. Blah, blah, blah. And they're all scurrying out of fucking Israel because they know the time's coming to an end. We're sick of these fucking people. They need to have justice. And you're never going to see justice because everything leads to Israel and these Jews. Pizzagate leads to Israel and Jews. 9/11, Israel and Jews. Kennedy assassination, Israel and Jews. Sex trafficking, Israel and Jews. Vaccines, Israel and Jews. COVID, Israel. It's the same things over and over and over again. And when you get to one conspiracy, you'll find out it's Israel and Jews, and you'll go, ooh, I better not touch that. I'm going to get my bank account frozen. I'm going to lose my followers on Instagram. I'm going to be shadow banned. I'm going to be blocked. I better just not look into what 9/11 is really about. I'll go over here and look at this other conspiracy theory. And then it goes to Israel and Jews. And then you'll go, ooh, geez, two things. That's just a coincidence. And then once you've looked at every single conspiracy theory, it all leads to the same spot. The pyramid has four corners. There's four main conspiracies that lead up. And in order to get one, you have to get them all. Is that happening? It doesn't seem like it because they are all thick as thieves with Benjamin Netanyahu. And, the MAGA base is all for defending our allies and all this bullshit. It just never fucking ends here, people. So, where are we at? It seems like, oh, every week we get done with these talks, and it's like, where are we at? Well, what are we doing? What can we do? Nothing. I try to tell people and wake all these people up. No one sees the post. They shadow ban it. They hide it. They make sure you don't get likes. They'll put a warning on your post. This post may contain hate speech. Okay, so you know, and Elon is against Trump now. Well, why don't you loosen up the restrictions on Twitter and let's really get the anti-Semitic tweets going and let's tell people the truth and let's show them what's going on with this Epstein stuff and Pizzagate and all this stuff. Well, Elon still is, he doesn't want his rockets to blow up, and he doesn't, maybe if he's pro-Israel, he'll sell more Tesla cars and get more, whatever the fuck. It's all a scam. Like, after you have $1 billion, what the fuck do you care? Why don't you just fuck off and go do what you want? Well, there's other things they can offer you. Maybe you can buy an extra 150 years of life if you have $4 billion and a big network of infrastructure you can donate to these people. And this is like it just none of this shit makes sense because we're not fully contemplating how vast the conspiracy is, how vast the network of extraterrestrial influence, and who is on these other lands hidden, what tunnels are there. Well, we know this old world was every single place, everywhere. So there has to be old world tunnels, sewer systems, and everything connecting everything to everything else. Most likely that's what they're attacking with these strikes. But the guy who leads Iran is a white looking Aryan Jewish guy. The guy who leads Israel is a white looking Aryan Jewish guy. An Aryan is Luciferian. Every one of these Ashkenazi Jew people have blonde hair and blue eyes. So Hitler and the Aryan, this is all just a fake fucking bullshit deception in order to trick you into believing their narratives and ideas. Because if you believe any aspect of their story, they can change you and shift you into any direction they want you to go. Iran is gonna build a base on the moon. Or, I mean, it's just like it never fucking ends. There's no evidence of anything. They'll just get you tricked. Joe Rogan will have some fucking retards on his show and they'll all, you know, was there an ancient civilization as long as, 5,000 years ago? Blah, blah, blah. No, that's not how it works at all. This is not what's going on, and anyone can look into this very quickly and figure it out. But people don't have time. People don't have any time to do anything. And that's the big game is they want to get you more money. They want you to keep working because you're not going to be retiring. And the biggest way they can keep their controlled network is to somehow have reverse aging and give it to the boomer people. So if they can extend the life of the boomers to like 150 years, they can fully get their new world order and there is no stopping it. Because the boomers do what they're programmed to do. No one follows the orders of the controllers better than the boomer generation. And the boomers have already fucked over their kids. They fucked over their grandkids. They're the most selfish people ever. And they're the ones who are going to drive this new world order over the goal line. And that's why they want to extend your life, extend the time you are working. Because the younger generations aren't going to do it. And they know the boomers will. So they'll release this technology of anti-aging in order to get the boomers a few more, 30 or 40 more years to fuck shit up and really get their next great reset. That's a big thing that could happen. And this is all what could happen. Because we don't really know. But they got to do something. I mean, people are waking up and they can't stop this anti-Semitism forever. Okay, that's a good place to stop. I had one more story here. In Mozambique, 5 bald men were killed due to the superstitious beliefs that bald men have gold in their heads. Okay, that should take care of that. Now, what else? Let's do one more segment. How about a grapevine section? All right, here it is through the grapevine.
This week on Through the Grapevine, I'm going to be giving you top secret information connecting to a CIA mind control project known as Indigo Blue. Many of these indigo blue operatives have been hidden throughout our civilization, disguising themselves as general public NPCs. But at the time of operatives being activated, these indigo blue operatives will be the ones who will lead the fight against the lizard people. Many secret stashes of weapons and equipment have been secretly stashed throughout North America and Canada. When the time is right, certain signals from the television and cellular telephones will be sent an indigo blue signal in which the operatives become activated and identify targets in their surrounding areas. Will these indigo blue operatives be working with the secret government space force and certain groups of extraterrestrials in order to finally overthrow the control paradigm that the lizard people have installed in our civilization? Well, if you heard through the grapevine what I heard through the grapevine, you'll understand that much evidence has been uncovered into the indigo blue operation. We've seen the government confiscate weapon stashes, large amounts of money, and different types of military equipment, as well as military operatives who may or may not have been indigo blue operatives themselves. I think that when the time of 5G activation and Project Bluebeam is activated, the also opposition to that will be the activation of indigo blue operatives. So, when you start to see giant saucers flying over your town, make sure you keep an eye on your neighbors and make sure that you identify them before they identify you, because they may or may not be indigo blue operatives ready to attack the lizard people and those who are members of a secret organization known as the Freemasons. But don't take my word for it. This is just something that we've heard through the grapevine.
And that was Grapevine. So that was fun. Okay, I want to let everybody know I still have a Patreon. Go over there to Patreon. I have filled it with tons of stuff. I'm going to be releasing lots more Mr. Sockavello content. I've got season 2 of Cooking with Mr. Sockavello ready to go. I've got other lots of neat content and stuff over there. If you can go over and support me, $10. It's not that much. Support me. If you want to do it for a month, you can do it. Subscribe, download all the audio tracks, download the content you want, and then you can cancel it. But it really lets me know if people are enjoying this, which I don't know what is going on. It seems like a lot of this just goes to me and just it doesn't really get out there purposely because this is part of their Jewish New World Order plan. Okay, everybody, this was news and current events. I hope you enjoyed it, and I will see you next time.
But I warn you, if you make any further inquiries, or if you say a single word to anyone about what you have seen, there will be the most dire consequences for you and your family. Do you understand?